Welcome to Evil. Damn it. Welcome to Eviliv3, the live media commentary show that answers the question: does Seattle still have coffee? Subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we are reviewing HBO's The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 3, The Path. Why it was
Yeah.
called The Path? I don't know. Do you?
I mean, because they go on a path, maybe?
Right.
Who the fuck knows?
Do you think it's referencing that weird cult group that we get a snippet of in this episode? Like we see them walking down and doing like whistles and stuff?
I have no idea. It's
Either.
it's a very I think it's maybe referencing the path that Ellie is taking. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Like most of the titles, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense at the end of the episode. This one,
Yeah.
interpret it a few different ways.
Yeah. Well, let's do our review and then maybe we can interpret it a few different ways. Basically. So watching this again after so many episodes and so many weeks, I almost didn't remember what was going on in this. Like it was like watching it for the first time, and emotionally, sweet hell, Bella Ramsey is fucking good in this role.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Her emotional core is just on fire. Like when she woke up in the hospital and just started having that flash of Joel and just loses her mind all over again, I was getting like verklempt. I was getting all choked up. Like, I've already seen this. Why is this hitting harder the second time than the first?
Yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah, it's like between that and the leaving the coffee beans at his grave, like that shit was just like, God damn, like I knew he was dead. Why am I still sad?
However, that is following up on the horrific podcast Coffee Bean commentary at the beginning of your episode. Was she planting Indian people for growth?
It could be. It could be.
Indian
I'm pretty sure
is the way you say it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really funny improv commentary you guys had back and forth. Very subtle, very dry, but I think it landed. It was very funny.
Well, thank you.
If you guys didn't watch the horrific podcast this morning, go check it out. This joke will make much more sense. Yeah, I mean, this was like a 3-month detour, and I love to see the emotional impact on everyone in the immediate aftermath, but then even after, the 3 month after it all hit, where she's finally getting out of the hospital and she has to talk to the therapist, the psychotherapist lady. And I mean, she's like, this is something that we saw growing up in the 90s, where every time you showed, it was like Dawson's Creek, for example. There were kids, just a bunch of stupid kids. But for some reason, they were like completely like actualized human beings, able to like wittily banter any given situation and have full control of all of their emotional faculties and mind, which actually doesn't ever happen in kids, but for some reason we portray them that way. That's how Ellie was acting in this. She was like always one step ahead of the psychotherapist, completely in control of everything she was saying, being, sort of flippant about it. I would have been an emotional wreck.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it makes sense for the character because, I mean, up until she had Joel, like, she went through a lot of shit by herself. Like, yeah, she grew up in orphanages and shit, but a lot of the time she was on her own. So it makes sense that she would be so strong-willed and quick on her feet.
Yeah, I did like seeing that sort of training montage where he's like, well, you're not quite to where you were, but, you originally were never really where you should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
She's so, fuck you. I really like the dynamic between all these characters. One thing that this show does so brilliantly is just give you time to breathe and just be immersed in the atmosphere. And that, hearing the guitar just sort of being teased, the chords given time to reverberate in the atmosphere of a scene, it's beautiful and it's sad, and it's like perfect storytelling, hitting on all, like this should be a film that everyone raves about for years and becomes like a cult classic. And instead, we're getting an hour of it every single week. Like,
I know, so spoiled. And it kills me that our last one for probably like a year is tonight. Like I'm not ready to give it up.
Oh shit, is it really? Tonight's the last one?
Yeah, tonight's the last one
Oh
for this
man.
season.
Oh man, I didn't know that. Oh shit. It's a dark day. It's just
Yeah,
damn it.
it really is.
Fuck. So basically, Ellie is dealing with Joel's aftermath, and it's not just Ellie; it's also Dina and everyone
Mhm.
else is trying to handle this. Dina admits that she had lied about not knowing anything, and she actually does know that WLF Wolf stands for Washington Liberation Front. Which, when Ellie said "fucking idiots," I was like, "Yeah, that is fucking dumb," because they came up
Yeah,
with the patch first, and they're like, "What should we make this mean?"
yeah. I mean, I got that same patch.
Do you really?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Is it on
I
your
probably should.
thing now?
No, no.
Okay.
It's
I
I
was like,
have a
flash it,
I have a
man.
bomber jacket that it's on because that's what Abby wears in the game.
Hell yeah. Abby, traitor. How dare you?
Just wait, just wait,
Oh,
just
okay.
wait.
Do
Next
you think we're
season,
going to get it, like, next season is going to be focused on her experience?
I believe so.
Oh,
I
that would be
really do.
cool.
Because that's the thing, like, that's how the game is set up, is
Mhm.
it is very much a back and forth of, viewing the consequences of one person's actions and then the consequences of the other person's reactions to that. So it toes the line of, who's really right, who's really wrong.
I liked that because they set that up already. The
Mhm.
idea of um, yeah, we want revenge, but what does that mean? So we have
Yeah.
to have this sort of town hall consensus agreement for any action to be taken about going after the group that killed Joel. And really quick before we get into that, I'm a little frustrated because they're like, yeah, they took one of our own. They killed Joel. No, they brutally tortured him and
Yeah.
then killed him. Only
Yeah,
at the last
very
possible
very
second.
different.
Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's like they kidnapped two of yours. Well, three actually.
Yeah.
Um, tortured two of them, and then drugged Dina. Like, no, fuck that shit.
It's just so shocking. They're just like, oh, they just killed one of them. Dude, it's so much worse than just killing him. If it was a bullet in the head, that
Right?
would have sucked, but it's not the same emotional impact as what we watched.
No, no, not at all.
So brutal. And of course, everyone, oh, so I want to get back to this sort of question here for you because it is set up where the town doesn't want to expend the potential resources because of the danger that they exist in. And that makes total logical sense.
Mhm.
One individual in particular says that we should forgive. And he's like, I'm not even a Christian, but it just makes sense. And from that sort of higher thinking state of mind as a human, an evolved human species, we are just like, yeah, an endless cycle of revenge actually benefits no one. And we've seen this throughout all of history in every walk of life that you end up just worse for the wear.
Yeah,
But we still care about these people and these things. So
yeah.
where would you land in that sort of difficult situation?
Oh, I wouldn't be asking for permission. I'd just be doing it. It's like
Yeah.
plain and simple. I would steal shit and then kick rocks. Like, yeah, fuck that.
So it is interesting because going off alone is infinitely more dangerous than going off with like 16 other people.
Mhm.
Would you try like wait to see if they said yes or no in the town hall to see if you could have the backup, or would you say fuck it, I'm just gonna go?
No, I would definitely do the former. Because of course it would be better with people, but like, yeah, there's nothing that would be stopping me from doing the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm super stoked that the way they presented Bella's argument was just gold. This isn't
Mhm.
for revenge. This is justice. This is what I would do for any one of you, and I would like to think that you would do this for me. And it
Mhm.
it wraps the event in a sense of community and shared survival, which is what the entire town is supposed to be anyway. And if you're going to
Right.
have any laws, meaning this panel that we're speaking to right now, then we should have justice. And if we don't have justice, then what's this for? I thought it was such a
Right.
brilliant argument, and I am stunned. I understand storytelling wise, they had to say no, but from like a pure argument standpoint, how could anyone say no?
Well, then especially to have Homeboy jump up and give that impassioned speech, like,
Yeah.
he fucking doesn't like them. Plain and simple, like everybody in the town knows he does not like them. And he's like, you even know that I don't fucking like him, but this is bullshit. We need to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I thought he was going to get kicked out of the fucking town hall because he was interrupting people, but
Right.
that just showed how spineless they are. Yeah, Seth. Sorry,
Yeah, right.
I knew the name was written down, but I didn't see it on my screen. So, but yeah, it's like I love that. I was waiting for something to happen, and then he just finishes and sits down. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys are all fucking spineless. That makes sense.
And that is really like the takeaway for the viewer. It's like they're barely even anything at all. Like they're basically a council just so they can jerk off to the idea that they have a council. Because they don't actually
Mhm.
do anything. They don't like represent any laws or real decision making. They're just there to placate people who want to complain for a little bit. And that's it.
Right. Yeah, I feel like they watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail too much, but didn't quite understand the idea of an anarcho collective.
Nice. Yeah.
Deep cut for you guys there.
I hope not.
I don't know, man. I've got no faith in the younger generation knowing Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
No, I totally agree. I just had an argument. Well, I shouldn't say argument, but it was basically me like yelling at a young kid because they had never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show yet.
Dude,
It's just like, how dare you live your life?
yeah. Yeah, well, you know my stance on that and how I would have I would have been on your side that one time there was a really big argument about it
Right.
around a bunch of people. Yeah, that's
It's
a
so funny.
travesty.
Yeah. There's so many really great moments when Ella comes to Seth Joel's brother. What's Joel's brother's name? I feel bad not
Tommy.
knowing this off the top of my head. Tommy. And he's like, "Don't tell me who my brother is. I know him. He's my brother." You're like, "Oh yeah." We've only
Right.
watched, as viewers, we've only watched him mainly with her, so we think maybe she knows more, but clearly that's not the case because they grew up together. They survived
Yeah.
the initial
Yeah.
apocalypse together. Like, fuck.
Yeah. I
And
mean, to be fair, they do know him in different ways. So
yeah.
she's not completely wrong, but neither is he.
Yeah, I mean, do they though? Like he, from that sort of daughter-father relationship situation, clearly he doesn't understand that. But that is just another form of caring about someone deeply and doing whatever you can for them. And that's not terribly different, I don't think, than, if you had a brother that you wanted to survive the apocalypse with and you sort of went through a bunch of shit as youth. It is a different form of a relationship, but I don't know that it's weird because I'm not in this situation exactly, so I can't really speak to it. I don't know that it would be.
You're not? That's weird.
Yeah. It hasn't hit yet. It's hit everywhere but Utah. We're the sacred place, so
Right.
it hit us last. It clearly it must be slightly different, right? But he still
That'd be
knows
my
his
guess.
brother. Like
Yeah.
he still understands that he overreacts and he acts before he thinks, and it's just like an emotional answer to every problem rather than a rational one. I mean, I don't know. That always kind of bugs me when one person's like, "Well, I knew him better," or "I knew him better than you did." You both knew him in totally different ways, but you kind of both know him the same. He's still
Right.
the same person, and that is
Yeah, I
also
mean,
like an interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, because we present ourselves differently to different people. Do you think that this is stupid? Because clearly, you have friends that know you in a wholly different way than I know you. But if we were to ever, like your other friends and me ever meet, would we be speaking about a totally different Cameron?
It depends on how long they've known me, I think. Because I mean, you've hung out with Robert. It's
Right.
it very much the same kind of shtick, especially because we're all fucking Star Wars nerds.
Yeah.
No, I mean, of course, basic psychology. We all have our masks that we wear for everybody.
Mhm.
But no, I feel like there's not there like personally there's not much variance.
Right.
Like you're gonna get a fucking grumpy little 15-year-old that is almost in his 40s. So yeah, there's not much difference for me.
All right. I also liked the interaction between Tommy and the psychotherapist, which I swear I will figure out her name here as soon as Gail. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's like, I'm supposed to be seeing a therapist to process all this trauma that I'm experiencing on your all's behalf. And instead, I'm just smoking a lot
Yeah.
of weed and I'm drinking a lot of liquor.
Oh man, yeah, I fucking love that shit. She's just out in the middle of the fucking field. Like, no fucks given. She could get hit with a ball. She doesn't care. She's just gonna sit
Yeah.
there with her cooler full of beer and just soak it up. And it's like, God damn it, I love her.
I would love to have a beer with her in like
Oh,
right field.
100%.
Like those kids aren't going to hit it all the way out here anyway. So you're pretty safe.
Right.
But it would be such a good time just like hearing her, like just any story that she wants to throw out. I feel like would be
Mhm.
interesting, especially if it's Catherine O'Hare. I mean, come
Oh yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So ultimately, Ella, why do I keep calling her Ella? Ellie decides like she is going to leave that night, and then Dina sort of interrupts her. And at this point, they don't have like the romantic relationship that was alluded to cemented. It's still like really, really fresh. And Ellie is still like into her, but she doesn't know if Dina was just drunk. And she doesn't want to presume that Dina would go with her. And I love the back and forth and the whole cookie thing. And
Oh yeah.
when she's like, you could have
I mean,
asked me, she's like, actually, I didn't. What was it?
yeah, that's a great thing. Like that's how you drop some shit. Like, eat your cookies. Eat these while I explain things that I probably should have explained already.
Just soften the blow
And
a
it
little
worked.
bit with chocolate. It'll always
Fuck yeah.
work. It's great. And then of course we get this flash over to what we assume is Seattle with this weird cult-like group that like cuts their cheeks like the Joker almost, but not quite. They just don't finish the lineup, which
Mhm.
as an artist bothers me. Like if you're gonna like carve in your face, go all the way, man.
Right. Yeah. It's called commitment.
You're never fully dressed without a smile. All right. So just finish it off and have that permanent smile. Be fully dressed, as Annie says. Um,
Hell yeah.
that was another thing that came up in my office last week, Annie. But they knew the quote, and so it was cool that this old man is referencing this young orphan child. Definitely cool.
Yes, I'm sure that's a word that was floating around
They're
the
like, who
office.
the fuck is this weirdo? Uh, but they're like referencing this prophet that is gone. I assume
Mhm.
killed and dead. I don't have a clue. But
I thought I could have swore they had talked about her in this episode. I
they
don't remember,
talked
but
about
yeah,
her
yeah,
in like like past tense, and so I assume she died, but I don't remember them saying like if she died, how she died, or what the situation was exactly, or why they were commuting where they were commuting to. It just presented this semblance of, oh, this is a cult that is
Mhm.
trying to live their life in this weird religious, sort of culty way. And I can't tell if they're good guys or bad guys, or if that's even a dichotomy anymore in this world. Like, is there good guys and bad guys when all you have to do is just survive? It's always
Yeah,
hard to
it's a
tell.
bit of a gray area. I mean, it's just like reality. It's a matter of perspective.
Right. So do they
But I mean,
play?
you can
Oh, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do they play a role in the game?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
A
really?
heavy, heavy, heavy roll. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, heavy fucking roll.
So that wasn't like the majority of the group that got slaughtered in that walk.
No. No.
Okay.
There's still quite a few.
I mean, just seeing the brutality of them murdering a child that's not has mushrooms, poking out of its face. I just can't imagine that. I can't even process doing that. No matter how much I
Right.
hated someone, like, and it was a thought that when I was in the military and 9/11 struck and we were like getting all geared up, and I was like, okay, what if You know, what if there's like child bombers strapped with a vest running at us? Could I take the child out? It's just one of those like scenarios that I'll never find myself in, but what if type things.
Luckily, yeah.
Would you hesitate?
Um, I mean, realistically, probably not. Like, if it's me or them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing me every single time. Um, I'm sure it would fuck me up. It'd wreck me, like
Yeah.
killing a child. A person, I don't know. Like, I really don't think I have that in me to feel bad if I kill somebody, like justifiably kill somebody. But a
Right.
child, yeah, that'd probably fuck me up pretty bad.
And then what if the kid wasn't wearing a vest and she just had like a little pinball hammer?
I'd throw something at her. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't. I wouldn't shoot her, but a rock at the shins would stop her.
I was thinking a pimp slap, a well-timed pimp slap.
I mean, that
That
too
would put a
would
kid down.
be great. That'd actually probably be more effective than a rock to the shin.
The rock to the shin would be funnier, I think. But
No, because I feel like a nice solid slap, it's not going to just hurt, but it's also going to just be an abrupt, like, oh my God, I just got hit. Like a rock, you're going to have that adrenaline. It's going to hurt for a split second, and then your body's just going to do what it's supposed to do to protect itself, and it's just going to, she's going to turn into the Hulk or some shit.
Let's do 10 more minutes on beating children.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, we can definitely explore this. But it's like, speaking from personal experience in fights.
Okay, I thought
Like
you were going to be like personal child beating experience.
Oh, yeah, personal experience beating up children. Like, somebody punches me in the face, I'm going to go reactionary. I'm going to fucking punch him back. Somebody smacks me, I'm just going to kind of be like, what the
Who
happened?
does
Like, that's
that? Yeah.
happened. Dude, fucking fights at bars are not as cool as everybody thinks. But yeah, it's just like, you just kind of step back and you're like, did you really just smack me? What the I'm going to fight you now, but what the fuck is wrong with you?
Would it land better or worse before Will Smith slap that? What's his name at the Oscars? Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, yeah. I almost said Chris Tucker, and I was like, that's not right. That's definitely not right. That would have been a very different situation.
Yeah, I feel like a bitch slap is much cooler before, and after it's just like you're a bitch for slapping. Like
that's fair.
It totally changed the bitch slap. Huh. All right.
Yeah, I should have just knocked him right on his ass. That'd have been funnier.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below. How would you take down a child coming at you with a ball peen hammer?
Yes.
What's the
Please
best method? Because you don't want to kill kids because they don't know anything. They could still be changed and whatever, in their minds.
100%.
But you don't want them to hit you in the head with a ball peen hammer.
Yeah, can confirm.
Like how
I mean, nice thing is, like, it's a small child, so I don't imagine getting hit in the head is too big of a concern unless, like, you nail.
Yeah, they have
in which
to
case,
jump.
if you kneel down in front of somebody that has a hammer in their hand as a defense mechanism, you deserve to get hit in the fucking head.
That's so funny. You're like, oh, my shoe's untied. Clank.
Yeah. Yeah, you deserve that one.
So I think I know from later episodes, but I don't think in this episode they explained who actually killed those people. I know Ellie and Dina suspected it was the Washington Liberation Front, like the group, Abby, but I don't think it actually said, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't believe so.
Because the more this gets into the story, the more I remember being on edibles and not remembering it very well.
See, that's my problem. I was gonna rewatch this sober, and it's the damnedest thing about being at home. It's like, I'm not at work. I'm gonna get super baked. So yeah, I forget stuff.
And it's kind of nice because when you do rewatch it, like I rewatched it for this review, I see it like in a whole new light. Of course, one, I'm sober, but two, I remember things, and three, the emotional cores just land harder than when I'm just sitting there going, "Fuck."
Right. That's like the subtitle of this is "Fuck, The Last of Us Season 2." Fuck.
And I love there's that moment where Dina like looks up, she's like, "Oh, next time you see an overhang, we need to stop." And Ellie's like, "There's nothing in the sky at all." And then cut to like the big storm and the tent and stuff.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the very first man camp. We were going up to Island Lake, and we only got so far as Long Lake up in the Uintas. This is in Utah, everyone. And it was a massive storm, and lightning was crashing right above us, lighting up the entire lake. And we're just sitting here getting fully drenched. We're like, we have to stop because it's like it's crashing right over our heads. It's so close. It's terrifying. Like we've got to just hole up. And we ended up sleeping, pitching the tent on like a hill like this. And just as soon as we get in the tent, our weight kept the tent from sliding at all. And we were just sitting here, this massive rainstorm, like, well, let's get high. Like, what else is there to do? So we just got
Fucking A.
completely baked and like drunk, just in this massive. I've never been in a storm like this before in my life, and it was like right there when the lightning hit and the thunder crashed. It was instantaneous, and it was right next to us. It was the most
Nice.
terrifying situation I've ever found myself in, but it was also a wildly memorable. Yeah, we all died. I assume I'm in
Yeah, this is the
purgatory
ghost I've
or
been
hell.
talking to for years.
Ooh. It just took me to Beetlejuice for some reason. Don't Delia is going to kill you for cutting holes in her sheets. Yeah, it was just the most memorable, experience ever, and it reminded me of them in that tent. It was storming, though. Being the weirdo pervert that I am, I know that the actors are of age, so it's not super creepy, but it's still kind of creepy of me to think. I was like, they're gonna do it, right? Like,
Well, I mean, here, if it helps you anymore, like the characters they're portraying are of age as well,
okay,
so
it's still creepy, I
it's
think,
it's
but
it's fine. No, no, if it's legal, it's legal.
right.
Age is just a number. Ugh. I feel disgusting saying
Yeah,
that.
I know. I feel super icky right now. Let's just move past
Yeah.
that scene. So, and that's
Yeah,
kind of.
not as awkward as their first sex scene in the game. Just
Oh,
saying.
really?
Yeah, they're stoned as hell in Homeboy's grow room, and they have sex there. So it's a little bit different.
Weird.
I feel like this one's definitely a little bit more
Do
impactful.
you have to like button mash to do it well?
No, it's just a quick cut
There's
scene,
no
unfortunately.
And they're not guys? It would make sense if it was quick if there was a bunch of guys.
Well, I mean, you don't get to watch the whole thing. It's not like when you get to see Abby have sex.
Really?
Spoiler, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to do like a lesbian button mash clit thing. It didn't really land.
That'd be great. I feel like they
Didn't land
really
at all.
missed an opportunity, especially
Yeah.
like with how
B B B B B Y.
yeah. No, you gotta go in a circle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
I've clearly
And then
been
just
doing it wrong.
punch it.
And they just punch it.
Yeah, you gotta mash all of them all at once.
That's
Yeah,
how I
with
did
the amount of,
Blanca's
like,
electric shock in Street Fighter
Yeah,
2.
fuck yeah. No, it's the Kano pinwheel. Gotta sit there and just go around as fast as you can, and then he's gonna shoot forward. Yeah. So I've had a sex before. I know how to do it.
Yep. I'm gonna leave it at that. We cut to Seattle, once they get there, and it's just this vast, overgrown cityscape. We see old boy up in the top of a tower, and they're calling out to him. And then we see that Washington Liberation Front isn't just a small handful of group of people. They have a tank, for fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah.
they are armed and prepared, and they are trained soldiers. So the assumption before, oh, it'll be easier just the two of us, and it's just a small little fringe group that I was told about. There's a bunch of these around. No. They've grown in the vacuum of the Fireflies. Is it Fireflies?
Am
Am I thinking of
no, it wasn't the
movie
Fireflies. It was
Series?
Cedra or something like that. I forget what the acronym is, but it's basically like the Washington Liberation Front before, or Fedra. There we
that's
go.
it.
Fedra.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I I I f well, never mind, I won't say it just in case it happens tonight, so just kidding.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Right.
Vedra.
So, I mean, I'm super stoked to see where this goes. The standout for me of this entire episode was the slow pace, letting us really just experience the loss of this incredible character from the previous episode and just sort of process what it means. And
Mhm,
then seeing the outcome of it. Like the town is trying to move on, but clearly Ellie is not ready to. And so she is just moving forward and she's going to. And I love how Catherine O'Hara's Gale said it. Look, nurture is this much. Nature is going to overrule that every single time. They are
mhm.
just on the same path. That's why it's path. Because the path. They said
Oh,
that they were on the same path or something like that. Okay.
that makes sense.
Came all
Yeah.
around. And so I really, really love that because they're just so similar, and that's why they got along so well. That's why they connected emotionally,
Mhm,
ultimately. And then just seeing that she's going to get justice no matter what.
mhm.
I love that. I feel like I would probably, after the second day, I'd be like, all right, well, this is kind of boring. Let's just go back. I'll accept it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I can imagine it's a bit of a hike from, Jackson
Mm-hmm.
to Seattle.
Even on a horse, a shared horse.
Mhm.
That's a long journey on foot. Like you're talking weeks and weeks. It took, I think, months for like the wagon trains to come over the west. I mean, that was from the east, of course, not from Jackson.
Mhm.
They're halfway there, but still, you can always win an argument by saying,
But
"Yeah, but
still.
still."
Absolutely.
Oh, the Earth is round. Yeah, but still.
But still, it's actually hot dog shape. Everybody knows that.
Mm.
Fucking flat earthers, what do they know?
Chris loves how they handled the episode. No flashbacks. You had to feel Joel's absence after the last episode. Yeah, and that just I keep saying the weight of it, but it's true. Like I just felt it the whole time, and it was
Mhm.
so great because it hurt, and it's supposed to. If this was
Well,
any other show, I don't think I would have given a fuck. It'd be like, all right, the character's
well,
gone.
were you paying attention to the intro?
I
Like
think so. Yeah.
usually at the very end of the intro, you've got the two little stems of fungus on the skull,
Oh, I
and
didn't. I usually skip that. This was just one.
it's just a singular
Oh,
stem. Yeah, so it's
oh,
showing a world without Joel. It's
oh.
yeah.
Has it been that since?
I don't think so. It was just I
Okay.
believe it was just that
Oh,
episode.
that's devastating. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Oh
I caught that the
man.
first watch and I was like, "You motherfuckers." I haven't even started the goddamn episode and already you're gonna make me cry.
Damn. All right. Chris loves the show because Ellie and Abby are so similar, but you're seeing it from different points of view.
Yep, play the game.
Um, I'm
Yeah.
not getting the similarity with Abby yet, personally, because I just don't. I've seen her like in one episode,
Mhm,
so I don't feel her as a character at all yet. I just see her as like she wanted revenge for her father's death and for the death of the organization in her life, and so she's going to get revenge. Ellie is just trying to get vengeance on the one, Abby.
mhm.
And if she has to go through the others, she will. But if she could just get to Abby, I feel like she would just end with Abby. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and my bias is because I played the game,
Yeah.
so I get
So
it.
so I would be interested, Chris, how you feel the connection with Abby um, in such a short amount of time thus far. Joel's brother being more irate and out for vengeance. Yeah. Did
Um,
that happen in the story?
we haven't finished the season yet,
Oh,
so
okay. Okay.
the
All right.
okay. The thing is, they are changing up the story in little teeny tiny ways, just like they did with the first season,
Yeah.
slash the first game. So I don't know how they're gonna handle that, but we may or may not see Tommy again,
That would be cool.
um,
Okay.
doing some shit. So just saying.
That's cool. Well, I like that. I like that potential tease there. Because it's his brother, and the
Mhm,
Tommy that we saw early was very reactionary like Joel, then in the mid and end season, we saw that he had changed. He had found a life. He had found a way
Mhm.
to exist in this after times, and he was seemed very, very happy and content. Now, I mean, he still has all of that, but his brother was brutally murdered. I'm watching him wash his brother's hand and look at the watch that his
Dude.
daughter, and he was just like, just tell him hi for me, or whatever it was, tell him I love him, or whatever. Fuck me. Just hit me so hard.
Yeah, man. That was fucking heavy.
This is what I feel like we've lost in death, in the death of loved ones. Before the Industrial Revolution, we literally washed dead bodies and then wrapped them and then put them in the ground ourselves.
Mhm.
You did that for your loved one, and it was just part of you processing their loss. Now we pay someone to do all the dirty work so we don't have to witness it, we don't have to experience it, but then that robs
Mhm.
us of the ability to really have any semblance of a catharsis. It stints our grieving, I think.
Mhm.
And I have no
I
personal
I
experience
agree.
because I've never washed a dead body of my loved one, so I don't know if it helps or not. But it does seem like there's something much more intimate. Like you knew these people in life, you shared laughs, you shared drinks, maybe you birthed them, maybe you just grew up with them or just made a connection with them. It would be an infinitely more intimate experience preparing them for the grave, and if you believe in an afterlife, for an afterlife, rather than just like, yeah, I'll give you 6 grand to bury him for me. I don't know what his
I
now. He's
mean,
probably like
that's a
80.
killer. That is a killer fucking deal.
Oh, okay. I don't know
Let's
what
put
it
it
is now.
this way. I think I spent about 78 when my mom died,
Holy
and that
fuck!
was almost 8 years ago. And that was the cheap option.
Holy
Um,
shit!
yeah, no, I mean, I can speak personally to the whole preparing and burying the dead yourself. Like, it is a far more intimate and, uh, I mean, the loss is there, period.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're dead. You understand that. You're never seeing them again. But you do feel a lot better when you can be a part of it. Like, with my mother, um, my sister and I did her nails, makeup, stuff like that. And with my grandpa, we were the ones that actually buried him. Like, we're the ones that dug the hole. We're the ones that carried him to the grave. We're the ones that lowered him into the grave, which that's something that's always really been weird about Utah funerals is you never see them put the body in the ground. I've never understood that.
For my nephew, we did.
Um, oh, that
Yeah,
must not have been, well, that's weird,
he's Mormon.
especially, that's what I'm saying, that's weird because it's typically a Mormon thing to not wanna actually be a part of that.
Oh, really? I
Um,
almost fell in the
yeah,
fucking hole. It was
yeah,
bad. I was like,
it's
oh!
it's a legit thing that can happen. But yeah, like with my grandpa, and it's ironic because Navajo side of the family, you never wanna deal with death because you can get ghost sickness and blah, 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 but, yeah, like, we lowered him, we buried him, we filled in the hole, we did everything.
Wow.
And it was just a not only an intimate moment between you and the loss,
Hmm.
but also an intimate moment with you and the others who are grieving that same loss, and
Right.
it's a beautiful thing.
Right. Yeah. We miss that a lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
That is beautiful, Adam. It really is. Maybe projecting to the later episodes, but Ellie's quest for vengeance seems very similar to Abby's. Yeah, and
Mhm.
we are told like it's alluded to for sure. We just like I haven't witnessed it yet, so it's hard for me to make that connection yet. I just have
Yeah.
to live it, and I'm sure that final season is going to be it. All right, so let's talk favorite, least favorite, and then projection because I want to talk a little bit about where we could go next season, just a little bit. What was your favorite moment of this episode?
So I mean, it was a mixture, like, one, and it sounds stupid, but I really did love this scene of her sprinkling the coffee beans on Joel's grave. Like, that was a beautiful moment.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, I love coffee, so of course it's great, but,
It smells so good.
it was a toss-up between that and the town hall meeting where Seth jumps up and just basically tells them all to go fuck themselves. Like, both of those were deeply impactful,
Yeah.
just in different ways. So yeah, it's a hard one to pick, but I loved them both.
Yeah, for me, it was when she got out of the hospital and she's going to her home, and that guitar is just picking slowly, and you're hearing the reverberation of each chord. And then she walks in and she sees his closet and this loses it, burying
Yeah.
her. She had
Yeah.
alligator tears falling out of her eyes. It was beautiful and devastating, and I loved seeing her just have everything hit her suddenly.
Mhm.
She's always projected as so tough and snarky. This is so real. Um, it was a beautiful juxtaposition from when she lost her mind murdering that dude in the first season, and this is just as much pain, I think, but in a completely recontextualized way. And I just I just cried for her. I was just wiping my eyes. Just it was so beautiful that this is why I love this show. Like
Mhm.
it can capture us up in it as much as it does the characters, and you just don't get that in storytelling very often. And so we got to
No.
celebrate it when we do. So
Yeah, no,
beautiful.
this show is as good as the games, and the games are pure perfection. Like
Hmm.
it's so fantastic.
So if you had to choose a least favorite, what would it be?
Uh I guess popping the little Seraphite kid, if I had to pick something.
The
I
what?
mean, it's the Scar, the
Oh,
child that
okay.
got murdered.
What did you
Like,
call
if
them?
I had to pick some Seraphites, um, that's their cult.
Oh, okay. Like angels, seraphs,
Yeah,
seraphim.
pretty much.
Okay,
I believe that's where it comes from.
interesting.
Either
Okay.
that or it's, a weird spelling for the prophet's name.
Ah, yeah, that was pretty brutal, especially when we get to know her and she's like this adorable kid,
Mhm,
just wanting to have this great relationship with her father, and her father's just clearly trying to protect her. And this is the thing about religious people. On a human level, they're just humans. There's nothing wrong
mhm.
with them. There's nothing wrong with them believing whatever the fuck they want to believe. I don't care. Um, and I think they're just wonderful and adorable as individuals. But then you get that collectivist thinking and action, and then it becomes shit asses.
Mhm.
Like the religion becomes a piece of shit and turns people into pieces of shit because they're all acting on behalf of what they believe is right instead of just
Yep.
being individual human beings. So, like seeing her in that moment, I saw her and her father as individual human beings. I'm sure we're going to be recontextualized later on. But for now,
Yeah.
believe that. But
Yeah.
for now, it was kind of devastating. I think for me, it was Ellie's reaction to Seth. Like, at what point he's trying to help you? He's been trying. He said one bad thing about you, and then he apologized the next day, and then he's done nothing but support you since. Are you gonna let it go? Like, why is she holding on to this grudge against him so hard?
Well, the thing is, and this goes into like her deeper psyche, but I don't think it's that she holds a grudge against him. It's that she's already got so much on her fucking plate that she just can't accept anything at this point.
Ah,
Because she lost Joel, and I mean, you and I have both experienced deep loss before, and it fucks you up for a hot minute, and like you don't know how to react to anything. So it's like I can kind of forgive her for being an asshole, but on the other side of the coin, it's like, dude, just at least say thanks, even if you don't mean it.
yeah.
Like especially that, fucking give me that rifle. This
Mm-hmm.
one's better.
And the horse. I'm
Yeah.
like, and the supplies. Like
Yeah.
you call him a piece of shit, but say thanks, fucker. Like just something that
Right.
shows some
Yeah. Yeah.
semblance of gratitude. That's the one thing that always irks me. You can just be cool, even if
Mhm.
you hate someone. You can still be cool. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
And I like Ellie, and I want her to be cool. I don't know, like the Fonz.
Hey. Yeah.
Anyway. So I just wanted to speculate really quick about next season because I don't know anything about Abby's journey. She said that she was trained by this WLF group, that they have some sort of semblance or code of honor or something like that. But Abby, like we've seen, this episode thus far, and Ellie has already hit some of them pretty damn, she's already met some justice, some semblance of justice for some of them. So, like, clearly Abby's going to want to get back. At what point does Abby think, oh, I created a monster? Is there ever a moment, like, because what I would love to see, and I don't know if I will, but you let me know, maybe, unless it spoils something. I want Abby to get this moment of like, I created this. I put this wheel into motion because I couldn't process and get over my own grief, and she clearly can't either. And there's no way we're gonna get out of this unless I just forgive and move on. Is there ever a moment like that, or is it just like tit for tat the whole way?
Uh, yes, but in an extremely bleak way.
Oh wow.
Like,
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I I hope the ending to season 3 is the same as the ending to, part 2, because it shows what happens when you follow a certain path to the end. But like what can happen. Fuck.
Yeah, don't spoil
Trying to
anything. But
wrap my head around this. Basically, the girls are on the same path.
mm-hmm.
They end in different places,
Okay.
and that's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Me too, man.
Oh.
I'm going to play this shit again before season 3 comes out because
100%.
Yeah, it's such a good game.
And Caitlin Dever is great as Abby. Like, she's just great as an actress, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I'm past the whole fact that she's not like a jacked, like just type girl, it's like I can get past that, and now I'm accepting it.
Yeah.
Because in the game she looks like she could, fucking destroy a watermelon just by going like this,
just crushing it
mm-hmm.
with her bicep. That's funny. So, are you saying Abby and Ellie aren't the unexpected love story we never knew we wanted?
No, definitely not. Although there is a moment.
What?
At the very not there's a moment of understanding, and I'll leave it at that.
Wow, this is gonna be so good.
It's some shit.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't fucking wait. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I know we're off on our reviews as the release of the actual episodes, but this gives you an excuse to go back and watch them again and then revisit them with us with fresh new eyes after having understand it and contextualize what's come afterward. That's what I'm really enjoying about this, and I hope you are too. Let us know what you thought of Season 2, Episode 2 of The Last of Us in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in live. Chris, always great to see you in chat. And as always, like it or not, evil spelled backwards is live, so get out there and be evil.
Hell yeah. And don't kill kids.
And don't bitch slap them.
No! Let's not go too far. Just don't shoot them.
Right.
Unless they deserve it.
Unless they deserve it.